contains some images that may be unsuitable for children. Parental discretion is advised.
Anton LaVey had an enormous influence on my life. My father was an alcoholic, and my mother a manic depressive, bullied and picked on by the other kids. I was struck by a teacher, and I was struck hard. It was fall, and I raked all the leaves in my parents' yard, and I put it in one pile in the front, and I burned it, and I visualized him, and I cursed him and all that. 1 year later, he died. A blood clot to the brain.
How did you feel?
Strangely, I didn't feel guilty at all.
You felt that it was just for him to die because he hit you?
If the man wasn't self-destructive by nature, that curse would not have affected him. I just visualized all that hate and animosity he was feeling, just being reflected back to himself. And a year later, he put a gun to the temple of his head and blew his brains out.
Mr. Boyd Rice, priest of the Church of Satan, who believes that this inferno of torment and suffering referred to as hell is nothing but a fantasy created by religions to keep people in line. In other words, the priest from the Church of Satan doesn't believe in hell.
We don't believe in God, the devil, heaven, or hell. We follow the laws of nature, and we don't think that after death there will be some sort of punishment or reward.
Okay, you don't believe in Satan as a being.
No.
What is Satan to you?
It's something that's symbolic. It just represents the adversary of all Judeo-Christian values, the adversary of democratic values. It's more of values that are found in nature, life, law.
But you don't worship him?
No, it's been said that we worship ourselves, but we put ourselves first. We're the center of our world.
Okay, basically what we're hearing here is a human being has foibles, that we're greedy, sometimes we're revengeful, we're not all good. So what you're saying,
yes, but we accept that. Satanism is based on accepting all those things, whereas all the other religions are based on rejecting them and denying them. We don't deny anything.
And no religion had ever been based on man's carnal needs or his fleshly pursuits. All religions are based on abstinence rather than indulgence. And all religions, therefore, have to be based on fear. Well, we don't feel that fear is necessary to base a religion on. The fact that religions for thousands of years have been telling people what they should do and what they shouldn't do according to the basic whims of a person who might be running the show is very understandable. We're realists, we Satanists, but we also feel that a person has to be good to themselves before they can be good to other people. So we feel the greatest sin of all is self-deceit. So what we've done is just reverse the procedure. Instead of trying to free ourselves, we've taken all these hang-ups, we've turned them into useful situations. If you're going to be a sinner, be the best sinner on the block. If you're going to do something that's naughty, do it. And realize that you're doing something naughty and enjoy it. Myself, I have naturally many of the same problems, the trials and tribulations of any regular minister, of any other church. The only thing that really presents a difference is the fact that I cannot perhaps be sanctimonious about things, but I think that I want to. I can pursue any kind of lustful desires that I might feel. I can engage in any activities that are so-called sinful activities and not really worry about any ecumenical councils making it right for me to do these things. Sexual freedom is something we feel is very important as a necessary requisite of the Satanic Church. It isn't the most important thing, but certainly it's an elective. We feel a person should be free to indulge in all of the so-called fetishes, all of the so-called admirations that they would so desire, as long as they don't hurt anyone that doesn't deserve or wish to be hurt. We feel that all religions are coming around to Satanism. We're in the very throes of a new satanic age. The evidence is all around us. All we have to do is look at it. There's a new title for Christians called Christian atheists. And, of course, many movements such as the Unitarian Church have existed for a while in what would amount to a form of atheism in evening clothes. And we feel that there's no reason why these people shouldn't just flip the coin completely over and religion simply call themselves what religion has called them for many, many years. Call them devil worshippers, or disciples of evil, or Satanists. Of course, it's very hard for a person to hang an uncomplimentary label on themselves, and for this reason, for many years, there will be people practicing Satanism as good Christians or other religions, and they will instinctively pursue the very same things that we are, as they always have. Satan is simply a word that means the adversary. Some of these rituals consist of recreations of old ceremonies that have been practiced for centuries. We recreate the ceremonies of the Knights Templars, a noble group of gentlemen who, because of social pressures, made it very obvious that they were the standard bearers of Christianity. We feel that in the light of what society has shown us in the last year or two, we have pretty much exemplified what the Knights Templars were doing, except we, of course, climate-wise, don't have to worry about calling ourselves Christians. We call ourselves Satanists. We recreate many of these ceremonies. We also recreate many of the ceremonies of the West Indian Voodoo religion. And we also utilize Norse ritual, the casting of the runes, calling upon of Wotan and Thor and Loki and all of the gods and demigods of the northern regions. We perform human sacrifices by proxy, you might say, the destruction of human beings who would, let's say, create an antagonistic situation towards us in the form of curses and hexes. Not in actual blood rituals, because certainly the destruction of a human being physically is illegal. But we feel that the sacrifice should be a deserving one. We don't chop up babies or cut the heads off of cats or chickens or goats. We feel that this is another example of the sanctimonious hypocrisy of those who call themselves witches, warlocks, white magicians, who have practiced these things for centuries. We feel that this is another example of the sanctimonious hypocrisy of those who call themselves witches, warlocks, white magicians, who have practiced these things for centuries.
It has frequently been said that if you scratch just beneath the glossy and oh-so-glamorous exterior of the Hollywood Dream Factory, you will find the dark and ugly reality that lurks just beneath the surface. But just how dark and ugly is that reality? Consider the web spun by the man known as Charles Mills Manson. Now this is where we cut into the core of the dark underbelly of Hollywood. Join me then, if you will, as we embark on a journey that I like to call the 7 Degrees of Charlie Manson. Yet before doing so, please let me introduce a few members of the stellar cast of this strange and twisted tale. Sharon Tate, the most famous of the Manson victims and the daughter of Colonel Paul Tate, U.S. Army Intelligence. Tate was killed on August 9, 1969, along with Abigail Folger, Steve Parent, Jay Sebring, and Wojtek Frykowski. Next is Kenneth Anger, former childhood star turned underground filmmaker and the son of military-industrial complex engineer, who developed machine guns for Kellogg during World War II and later worked for Douglas Aircraft. Judy Garland, once a child actor and singer who was kept drugged on a daily basis from about the age of 5 on, first by her mother, then by the studios. Garland found dead on the summer solstice of '69, just 7 weeks before the Tate LaBianca murders. John Phillips, musician and composer, founded the singing group The Mamas and the Papas. He was born in a military hospital, the son of a Marine officer. John later attended the U.S. Naval Academy. Roy Radin, theatrical producer who specialized in staging vaudeville revival shows. Radin was working with Robert Evans to produce The Cotton Club when he was shot some 27 times in the head in 1983. Radin was killed instantly. He began his career while still a teenager by staging shows in Masonic temples. This is just the introduction. Please proceed to part 2.